This is it right here.
Combining a team of reporters, columnists, and commentators.
Don't you ever talk about me!
Are you serious?
Jack Ebling has brought thought-provoking discussion.
What are you doing?
That's a damn coaching mistake!
Opinion.
The customer is the one who decides when the future gets here.
Oh, no!
The ship is on fire!
You have to check the report.
Are you kidding me?
That game was fixed.
And overall infotainment.
I'll take Jim Harbaugh.
What has he done?
Great! Cooter coming at you.
Quiet, please. In exactly 15 seconds, we'll be on the air.
Thanks, big fella.
Don't you ever come back here again.
No arguments. Those are called ass tunes.
So buckle up.
You talking to me?
It's time for The Drive with Jack Ebling.
Yeah, for some reason or another, you sound a little taller on radio.
Great afternoon, Greater Lansing, and welcome to The Drive with Jack, the Spotlight Radio Network. Jack Ebling here with my producer, Boston Rob, on Friday afternoon. Rob Winter is back. It looks like it's going to get nasty tonight. A little windy out there, too, and cold. And
yeah, back to reality. Let's face it.
It was too good to be true. We know
Yeah.
that. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. It's a little warmer where our first guest today is. I am guessing in the state of Mississippi. Weather better be good in Mississippi. Not much else is, except maybe Trinidad Chambliss. I want to welcome in Steve Waite. He, of course, is a proud Lansingite, a Sexton Big Red before they were the J-Dubs, and a guy who's done exceptional work in the media industry. Worked with me at the Lansing State Journal, a co-founder of the Catch-22, done a lot of stuff in IT down there, distinguished career, and the co-author of a great book, if you like college football. I don't think he stopped at Indiana University, Rob, so I don't think you'd like it. But the book Rivalry Saturday, Steve, when you did that book, you didn't go to the old Oaken Bucket game, did you?
We did not.
No.
And, there's that one weekend in November where traditionally a ton of rivalry games are played, and we had to pick and choose.
Yeah,
so,
good choice. Good choice, yeah. You were in St. Louis earlier this winter for the U.S. Figure Skating Championships, the Olympic trials, right? And
yes, I was. Yep.
You saw Alyssa Liu compete there, but she did not win that competition.
No, she did not. Yeah, Amber Glenn won for the third consecutive year.
So having seen all of these skaters a short time ago, how much did that enhance your viewing of the Olympics?
Tremendously, Jack. And if you ever get a chance, if anyone ever gets a chance, you should go to the U.S. Figure Skating Nationals to really appreciate the sport up close and in person. I plan to go back now, having gone for the first time. And, the great thing, too, is the crowd is quite diverse. You've got people who are very economically well off and others who, are good middle-class people. And then you've got the old people who have been following figure skating for years, and then the youth who come to see the people the skaters that they champion and idolize.
So were you surprised by the way the competition wound up in the women's event?
Not how it ended up in that Alyssa won after the short program, in which Amber struggled mightily. And she had a poor short program, was 13th after the short, and in essence...
Talking about Amber Glenn?
Amber Glenn, yep.
Yeah.
And just had the U.S. national champion, 3-time that U.S. national champion. Just had a horrible short program and essentially replicated Nathan Chen, U.S. figure skater Nathan Chen's effort in the 2018 Olympics, in which he was the gold medal favorite going in, had a horrible short program, and was 17th going into the long program or the free program, and had the best free program of any skater there, finish fifth, and that's exactly what
Same as
happened
Amber.
with Amber.
Yeah.
Yep, and she finished fifth. So
you mentioned something to me that as I watched a little bit of this late last night on a replay, and I thought it was a great point. I could sense the nerves, and the nerves would be understandable, certainly. Competing in Olympic championship might be your only shot at it. If you blow it, you got to wait 4 years if you're even able to compete again. But Alyssa Liu looks so relaxed and calm through this and confident. And I think that had a lot to do with her performance.
Exactly. And what you saw really was the changing of the guard. So Amber's 26 years old, Amber Glenn is. And so this was her real shot to medal at an Olympic Games.
Okay.
And, they called her and Alyssa Liu and then Isabeau Libido, the other U.S. woman participating, the Ice Angels, I believe is what they dubbed them. But this was Amber's chance, and I think those nerves got to her in the short program.
Yeah.
And that's what her undoing. And the idea in sports is that you can't win a game in the first half, but you can lose it.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing in skating. You can't win the gold medal in the short program, but you can lose it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what that's what took place there. And then Kaori Sakamoto from Japan, she is 25 and had already inferred that she is retiring.
Okay.
And this was her last shot at gold, and a gold medal at the Olympics is the only gold in figure skating competition she had yet to achieve. And so you could tell that when she went out, that she too was tense, and her skate reflected that. And so she ended up getting the silver, so now she has 3 Olympic silvers and a bronze. She never got the gold. And you could see that reflected in her emotions afterward.
But none of these skaters had the kind of epic meltdown that Ilya Malinin had, right?
No, though you could contend that. Oh, yeah, it wasn't that. Even Amber's short program was not that bad.
Yeah.
And Ilya is 21, right? So Ilya has time to recover, and he's still the reigning world champion. So he had won 14 consecutive competitions going into the Olympics. So, but then you have Alyssa, and let's get back to being relaxed. So Alyssa's 20, right? And she wins the bronze medal at the World Championships in 2022 and walks away from the sport.
Why? Why did she walk away?
It was just becoming mentally taxing for her.
I thought it had to do with her father.
Well, that's part of it. That's part of it.
The political persecution aspect, as she saw it? No?
Somewhat, but it was more the regimented life in skating.
Yeah.
Her dad was inspired by Michelle Kwan, and that's how Alyssa got into it. But it was the regimented lifestyle. And then, so she walks away in 2022 and realizes that she kind of misses it. But she's only going to come back on her terms. So when she comes back, she says, I'm only coming back if I can pick my music, pick my costume, eat what I want, and choreograph or help choreograph, have a say in my choreography for my programs. And so she found the team that would allow this. And so when she went out, she had this huge smile on her face. And, she's skating the Donna Summer, and she's just relaxed. And it was a situation where she even said before both skates, and I guess you can say this and maybe not feel it inside, but she certainly exuded it when she took the ice, that, I'm not here to, I'm going to skate how I want to skate, and if it happens, it happens.
Right.
And if it doesn't, it doesn't. And that was really what carried her to the gold medal.
That was not the
and
only...
by the way,
great performance yesterday by U.S. athletes. on the ice. The gold medal women's hockey game with the United States and Canada, and I took a little bit of blowback, but not as much as I thought last night at the game. Someone had heard me say that I had a very difficult time getting interested in this competition, the same way that I used to not want to watch women's basketball because I didn't want to see the Connecticut-Tennessee Invitational every year. And until women's hockey at the world level can have more than 2 teams relevant, call me when there are 6 or 8 teams that could win.
Mm-hmm. And we got, again, a repeat of the U.S. and Canadian women for the gold medal.
Yeah.
And
they could have a dual meet or a series just there and play it in Toronto, and they would have the same result, I think.
Sure. And it was a scary game, and in some aspects, it was like Canada or the U.S. trying to beat the Russians in '80. Canada had been shut out by the U.S. in pool play, so to speak. Mm-hmm. And the U.S. had 5 consecutive shutouts going into that game.
Yeah.
And here we are, there's 2:21 left.
Yeah.
And Canada's up 1-0 on a shorthanded goal, no less. And the U.S. gets a dead puck in the Canadian zone. They pull the goalie, and it only took them 17 seconds to tie it up. And then send it into overtime. And then, Megan Keller from North Farmington High School in Michigan, who went to Boston College, Boston Rob, scores the game winner and earns the gold for the U.S. It was a great game. It really was, and it was a great game from the fact of you could see the urgency and the intensity as the game wore on, and Canada continued to lead, and was the U.S. going to pull it out? And then so often people pull their goalie and don't score, but it was perfectly executed for the U.S.
Yeah.
And a slap shot that got deflected into the net. And
I would say it's very different, Steve, than 1980, even though there was that kind of tension that, I don't know how big of an upset it was. I don't think it was an upset that U.S. won.
No, not at all. No, I'm saying Canada was trying to be the U.S. of 80. By beating, yeah.
But Canada had won Olympic championships, right? And Canada had been a dominant team. The United States had overtaken Canada, would you say?
That's correct.
So it isn't like the U.S. in 1980 that came in and had never been close to the Russians in 20 years and going into the competition, they were more than I don't know what it was to one shot, but it was one of the longest long shots on the board. I don't know what the odds were on this going in. Probably the U.S. was favored, but not by a great deal. Do you know if Canada was an underdog?
Oh, yeah, they were.
Okay.
Yes, they were.
All right. Speaking of underdogs, nearly saw one win last night at Mun Ice Arena. Notre Dame played really strong hockey for 3 periods, and Michigan State had a good first 5 minutes and then a much better last 10 minutes. But in between, for about 45 minutes, there was no question that the Irish had more puck possession, many more shots, the most shots Troy Augustine has ever faced at Michigan State. And without his presence in net, the Irish might have had 5-6 goals. They were stuck on 2. And finally, Gavin O'Connell got a pass in front of the net from Caden Lindstrom and converted. And then there was an open, empty net goal at the end. And Michigan State left 4-2. And if you didn't see the game, you just saw 4-2. You said, okay, well, kind of a workmanlike performance. Michigan State's going to have to play better than that moving forward.
Most definitely. And, they've struggled at home more than they have on the road.
Why is that? Why do you think that is?
Yeah, I don't know if they're more focused on the road or what. They're 13-2, I believe, on the road, 3-0 in neutral site games. And, they're barely over 500 at Munt. And I don't know if it's, too comfortable or what. I was thinking last night that I'm glad it was Charlie Strammel's birthday because
Strammel was good throughout. He was a one-star. Yeah. Rob, I was thinking about this. If you are the 1 seed in the Big Ten regular season, you get home ice throughout the playoffs. But when you get to the NCAA tournament, as we saw last year with the loss in Toledo, you don't. Maybe it's a good thing for Michigan State that it'll have to go to neutral sites and get away from Munn for the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, it most certainly seems that way, as Steve just eloquently put. But I want to talk about Charlie Strammel, right? Strammel, thank you. Yeah. And I also want to mention Porter Mortone. Those two guys, to me, and we talked yesterday about it, are and obviously Trey Augustine, right?
Yeah.
Obviously. But those two guys really are difference makers, and I would put those two guys up for Hobie Baker, heavy candidates for the Hobie Baker Award.
Yeah. Having two of them, does that detract from either one? Is it likely they would split support?
I mean, it could, but nevertheless, it's good for Michigan State, right? I mean, either way, and both of these guys aren't thinking about the Hobie Baker Award, and Michigan State, the team, isn't thinking about the Hobie Baker Award, but both of these guys most certainly, I think, deserve, when their body of work, and we still got a little ways to go, most certainly have to be in consideration for that award. Obviously, Michigan State's looking for a different type of hardware.
Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned that, too, because Tom Izzo always rails against, quote, dirtbags and distractions. Not to say that NHL scouts and executives are dirtbags, but they can certainly be distractions. And this was the reunion weekend for the 86 team. They wore the 86 uniforms last night. Some people love them, some people hate them, but I understand why. And they're trying to have a big merchandising campaign. They're trying to sell a lot of these things. So whenever there's a revenue stream, that enters into it. But the Flyers were represented there heavily last night.
Shane Van Sage and Porter Mortone.
Yeah, but the Flyers brass, the organization, was there.
Nope.
And Neil was bothered by this. I said, well, it's okay. He said,
comes with the territory.
Said, yeah, I guess it does. But he said he doesn't want Porter Martone thinking about joining the Flyers as soon as the NCAA tournament is over.
Well.
And, it's probably what's going to happen.
Right.
But that's where they were last night. And by the time we got out of the press conference, Martone was having a lot of discussions. So I don't know whether that is a distraction, Steve, or whether that's cost of doing business.
I think it's, in this era, it's the cost of doing business, right? You have to, do you recruit one-and-done players or do you not? And
this was a top 10 draft pick.
Yeah.
And if he had any type of success moving forward, I mean, it was a decision for him to come to Michigan State.
That's right.
Late decision to come to college.
Yeah.
Right? So, and if he had any type of success, never mind what he's having now, this is what was, would probably happen.
And had he not chosen to come to Michigan State, after Gavin McKenna said he was going to go to Penn State, I think that was the order of it, then Michigan State would not be the number 1 ranked team in the country.
No, that's a fair statement.
If he's that good,
I will say, yes. I would say this in terms of hockey. You have to think of hockey in terms of Big Ten basketball. The regular season title, to me, weighs more than what happens in the tournament. So Michigan State winning the Big Ten regular season title, and the magic number is 13 points, is more important than what happens in the tournament. And so let's not take too much weight on what happens in the Big Ten tournament. Again, realizing Michigan State's 13-2 on the road and 3-0 in neutral site games.
Right.
I think that's where we'll learn that this team is for real and hopefully for Final Four bound.
Yeah, they're a number 1 seed moving forward, whether they win the Big Ten tournament or not.
Yeah.
I mean that's a foregone conclusion.
Right.
So that's
what about the regional sites? Where are they, Rob?
I don't have them in front of me right now, and I don't want to misspeak.
So
Steve,
is it an advantage to be the overall number one in terms of your location?
Yeah, I mean, I believe there's one in New York.
That's
right?
not a big advantage.
Yeah, not a big advantage. I mean, they're.
Do you know, Steve?
There's one in Denver. One's in Denver, I believe.
Denver, yep.
And
There's
then
nothing within 5 hours of the state of Michigan?
No, there's no. Check it real quick.
Nothing. St. Louis or closer? Nothing?
Okay, no. So they're Albany,
Yep.
Loveland, Colorado, Sioux Falls, and Worcester, Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Okay, so I guess you'd rather be in Albany if you had your choice, right? Of those four? Not sure.
Yeah.
Right. I don't want to be in Sioux Falls against UND. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be in Loveland against Denver.
Yeah, I was going to say Denver either. You don't want Denver right there.
So they'd be somewhere in the east. They would either be in Massachusetts or New York. Probably I'd rather be in upstate New York. But that's not exactly convenient for your fans or anywhere close to home. But I'm agreeing with you 100% on that. And the secondary nature of the Big Ten tournament, very much like the Big Ten basketball tournament. But I am finding increasingly, guys, that the Big Ten regular season championship has lost its meaning. Not to me. I don't think to Adam Nightingale, but I'm talking to more and more people who say, we don't care. We don't care. It's a tournament sport. Just like college basketball, nobody gives a crap if you win the Big Ten. Just how do you do in the NCAA tournament? You could be 20-0 in the Big Ten, and if you lose in the Elite Eight and you don't make it to the Final Four, it's a failure of a season to a lot of people. I was talking to Mike Pursuta last night, who's covered college hockey extensively, goes to the Frozen Four every year, and he says he doesn't care about anything. All he wants to do is hang another national championship banner, and if Michigan State doesn't succeed there, then it's a failed effort. It's championship or bust. And I hate that attitude. But I can see
agree.
For a lot of people now that's where they are. I used to argue about this with Mike Valeni all the time, a native of Albany, by the way. And he used to say that if you lose a national championship, you're first loser. Or if you lose a Super Bowl, you're a failure. And I used to blow back on that and tell him, to me, the Buffalo Bills were the furthest thing from failures. And, to get to the national championship game or even to get to the Final Four. But now, if you have any kind of a one-game letdown in the NCAA tournament, everything you've done before is wiped out.
And I feel like these conference tournaments are more for teams on the bubble.
Yeah.
Right? To get hot, win a tournament out of nowhere and get in. I mean, that's what basically it's for. I don't see it. I mean, for the upper seeds, the 1 through 4 or whatever it is, I mean, it just doesn't mean really anything.
Well, we are hearing a lot now, guys, about the conference football championship games being eliminated.
Yeah.
And with the plan being put forward, and I think it has 24 teams. I think it's getting some momentum now. There will be no conference championship games. And, they have to find a way to compensate for that, the revenue stream and the money that was then distributed. But if you have more teams in the national championship, you're going to have more chances for leagues to get a share of that money. And so, again, money rules all. That's going to be the final determinant. And you're going to find less emphasis on that. I'm just afraid that the college football season, which to me is sacred from the end of August on through early December, is going to be diminished. And the same thing with college basketball, which now a lot of people say, wake me up after the Super Bowl. And with college hockey, if the regular season doesn't matter and it's only about the tournament, then we have some extended spring trainings and fall trainings leading up to, it's kind of like auto racing, right? Or golf. Nobody cares who wins some tournament in Sioux City. They only care about
majors.
It's the four majors.
It's just the four majors.
And auto racing is even more dysfunctional.
Daytona 500. That's it.
And they start their season with their Super Bowl and work backwards, right? So, that is disappointing to me if that is indeed the way it's trending. So
then why have conferences? That's my point.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Why isn't MSU scheduling North Dakota one weekend and Boston College the next? And
probably for travel reasons and economics.
Sure. So, okay, great point. Then why don't we get Western to join the Big Ten Hockey Conference? So we have 8 teams, and Western doesn't have to travel to Denver and Colorado Springs and Tempe and Sioux Falls.
Yeah.
And when we've got natural rivalries right here in our backyard with Notre Dame and Michigan State, and even Ohio State.
Well, if you can have Notre Dame join the Big Ten, if you can have Johns Hopkins join the Big Ten for lacrosse, then who's to say that you can't add another hockey team that is not a Big Ten member? It's not like there's a MAC for hockey that it would be bolting from. So
I was going to say UMass just is now part of the MAC.
That's
football.
Right. That's right.
Right, and isn't some Texas school part of the MAC now too, or something?
Sacramento State.
Yeah, Sacramento State is now part of. Yeah.
Can you imagine that MAC matchup from Sacramento State and Amherst? Right.
Yeah. Can't wait for it.
Yeah.
They say
I love that one.
They say Maction for a reason.
I guess.
Yeah.
All right, last thing for you, Steve, and you sent me a message on this too that I appreciated last night about motorcade. And Cade Cunningham, the first player since, I want to say 2009, visiting player to have 40-plus points and 10-plus assists in Madison Square Garden. Remember when Michael Jordan had the famed double nickel game, the 55 points. But that was a long time before that. But we're going back 17 years now since a player had achieved those numbers. And Cunningham, without Jalen Duren and Isaiah Stewart, came in and owned the Knicks. That game was not close. And Pistons rolling to a comfortable victory. We're going to show this Sunday night on Press Pass, guys. But there was a video of all the celebrities there at Madison Square Garden just in agony, right? It's like someone had just broken their feet and watching this game in total disbelief. But the Pistons are the class of the Eastern Conference. Maybe Jason Tatum can come back and prove me wrong, Rob. But
maybe
I'm going to be very surprised if the Pistons aren't in the NBA Finals.
And all our NBA guests that we've had, right? And, I haven't kept track, but if memory serves me correct, a lot of people think like they say the Knicks are going to be the biggest issue, right, for the Pistons in the Eastern Conference Finals, right?
I'm not seeing it.
But I'm not seeing it all year.
No.
I mean, the Knicks or the Pistons have owned the Knicks all year. And I know the playoffs are different. There's more intensity, and we'll see, and injuries could happen. I get that. But if you're looking just as of what happened up to this point, man, the Pistons have just really annihilated them.
James Edwards, not James Edwards Buddha, James Edwards, the writer, with The Athletic, who covers the Knicks, was on this show, and he said Knicks fans better be really happy that Isaiah Stewart couldn't play in that Eastern Conference semifinal last year, or the Knicks would not have beaten the Pistons in 6 games. So this year, I think if the Pistons are healthy, if Cade Cunningham is healthy, you're going to have a different result. Steve, thanks so much for joining us.
So,
I
was going to say, quick, Jack, I was going to say that the Pistons are like the MSU hockey team. They travel well.
Yeah. They play very well on the road, don't they?
Yeah. And then the last point, going back to make this full circle, the Big Ten can claim Alyssa Liu. She is a student at UCLA.
Ah, okay. Even though she went, you said, that was hockey, right? That was
yeah.
Okay, I got you. She's a student at UCLA. Okay, well, she'll probably show up on BTN very soon with a special treatment of that. I was thinking that you were going to say what I had thought earlier, that this is the best day for ice that we have seen in a long time, between what happened with the women's hockey and in the United States, and then Alyssa Liu, and then what happened last night for the Spartans.
And I will give you guys a quick update, Steve. I'm sure you're watching. United States men's team up 2-0 right now in their semifinal. And Dylan Larkin, man, maybe the MVP of the United States hockey team opened up the scoring
Agreed.
for the U.S. So having a heck of an Olympics, easy for me to say.
Yeah.
Dylan Larkin.
Yeah. Well, if the Wings make the playoffs, I'll be very happy about that. If they don't, at least he's increasing his trade value.
Now, what do you get? Do you get is it a lunch from Kepke? Is it a lunch?
It's a lunch, but it's more than a lunch.
It's
the
just
fact that I
bragging
can
rights?
Hammer him at every opportunity about his lack of hockey knowledge.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Yeah. Anybody who picks the Toronto Maple Leafs, as a team to follow, that's, it's been kind of like picking Northwestern over the years. So it didn't used to be that way, but has been for a long, long time, since 1967. Steve, thanks so much for joining us. Really appreciate it. And we will talk to you again very soon, and you're due for another appearance on Press Pass.
Thank you very much, and have a wonderful weekend.
Steve Waite, proud Lansingite, now living in the state of Mississippi. We say he is Lansing's gift to the Gulf region.
Check that. 3-0 United States.
3-0. Okay. Yes. Consider that game over. And what about Canada?
Canada was down 2-0 in the second period, but came back 3-2 winners.
Canada 3-2 winners to move to the gold medal game on Sunday, right?
That is correct.
Okay.
Sunday is the gold medal game.
So would you expect the Team USA to win, especially if Crosby can't play, or did he play today?
I'll tell you, Team Canada is finding ways to win two very close games back-to-back. An overtime winner, and it very well could have went to overtime. They got the game winner with about 19 seconds left in the game, but they have gotten through, but I picked, as you know, Jack, earlier this week, I did pick Canada, and I got to stick with it.
You never change.
You never change.
Okay.
Never change.
All right, we will be back with Connor Eargood of the Detroit News up next.
Jack Ebling here with my good friend Matt Sloan at Graph of Okemos. Some great product here in early 2026.
You got it, Jack. Here at Chevy, we have, backed by popular demand, the all-new Bolt. Redesigned and back in full force for us. People are really excited about that vehicle. It did great for us in the past.
Great.
And then next door, the Nissan Sentra, completely redesigned for that model. Great fuel economy. It's going to be a hot seller for us.
Stop and see Matt and the gang at Graph of Okemos. They're making friends.
So, it's been a while since you've had your jewelry cleaned and inspected, right? Where will you go and who will you trust with your most valuable and treasured heirlooms? At Meadowar Jewelers' 4 locations in Lansing, Okemos, Jackson, and Portage, jewelry isn't just our job, it's our passion. Each and every piece entrusted in our care is thoroughly inspected by our trained staff against damage or normal wear. And we offer you, our customer, the highest level of quality on repairs and custom designs. Whether it's worn out prongs, channels, or shanks, it's all handled with incredible care. Meadowar Jewelers in Lansing, Okemos, Jackson, and Portage want to help you preserve your memories and offer you options on creating new ones. Come in today for the cleaning and inspection of your jewelry. We continue to work hard every day to earn your confidence and trust.
Dean Transportation is looking for compassionate people to join our team of school bus drivers and attendants. Visit deanjobs.com to see all openings. Dean Transportation provides paid training to obtain a commercial driver's license, increased starting pay, comprehensive benefits, and flexible schedules with no weekend shifts. No experience needed. Apply today at deanjobs.com and train for back to school season. That's DEAN jobs.com.
Amy here from One North Kitchen and Bar. Tuesdays are family fun night at One North. Kids under 12 eat free with the purchase of an adult entree. Bring the whole crew to One North in Lansing, Jackson, or now East Lansing. Good food, happy kids, and an easy win for the family every Tuesday.
Are you passionate about college sports? Foster Swift Sports Talk is your go-to podcast dedicated to addressing the hottest topics in college athletics, including recruiting practices, NIL, the trade portal, collectives, and revenue generation.
Join us as we bring you insights from student athletes, college head coaches, administrators, and other industry leaders as they share their experiences in this rapidly changing arena.
Our mission is to share information and help educate student athletes, parents, coaches, and other stakeholders with the knowledge, resources, and strategies they need to make informed decisions and maximize each college athlete's potential for long-term success. Check out our latest episode where we're joined by Trav Moore and Coach Rob Zimmerman from DeWitt to discuss their state championship run. Like and subscribe to our YouTube and Facebook pages to watch all of our episodes, or you can give us a listen on any of your favorite podcasting platforms by simply searching Foster Swift Sports Talk. Until next time, I'm your host, Dave Russell.
Welcome back. It is The Drive with Jack, the Spotlight Radio Network. Jack Ebling here with my producer, Boston Rob. Haven't been able to locate Connor Eargood today, right? That's unusual.
Yeah, hopefully we'll have him here in just a minute. But a quick update as we were going to break 3-0 United States. Well, during the break, 4-0 United States. So firmly in control, to say the least.
Was there any doubt?
No. I mean, no disrespect to the opponent, but if they beat themselves with penalties and just not good play, but heading into this game, the United States was most certainly heavily favored in this game, and they're making it a reality as we speak.
We talk about puck luck and the varying nature of hockey games as opposed to football games where might almost always makes right, might plus speed. And in basketball, where you can get strange things happen, but not as often as you do in hockey. But seriously, how many teams in the men's Olympic bracket would have a chance at gold?
More than the women.
Yeah, at least 4, right?
Yeah, I would say 4, maybe 5. And like we mentioned yesterday when we were talking about, I mean, Russia's not even part of the Olympics, but you would have to throw them in there if they were, right? So, or the Soviet Union. But, I would say 3, 4, 5. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no more Soviet Union, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Russia. Yeah. Whatever they want to call themselves. Yeah.
Yeah. So you think that's something that will change by the next Olympiad?
By the next Olympiad?
Yeah.
Next Winter Olympics?
Yeah. I mean, who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows what countries are going to be running what countries?
Right. Yeah, right. It's like they keep adding or subtracting, right? It's like these conferences. Add and subtract, or did not have a conference anymore, right?
Yeah.
So it just depends on that. But I wouldn't expect too much of a change in the next Olympics. Now, maybe 3 to 4 Olympics from now, then we'll see, right? But you're right; it could totally look different by the time I'm talking about.
I just realized that Michigan State basketball practice is open today. And not player availability until about 5:15. So Connor Eargood is not tied up talking to players or coaches, but he's probably in Breslin Center right now.
Taking a look, as he always does. Taking a look, as he always does.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. We did not see Connor at the hockey game last night. And people were asking about that. Where's Connor?
Yeah.
Because he's normally wherever there's a Michigan State event now.
Yes.
And he loves hockey.
Yes.
So I'm guessing that after the player interviews, he will saunter over to Munn across the street and will watch Michigan State Notre Dame in Game 2. That game is on BTN, I believe, at 6 o'clock, right?
That is correct.
Yes. So
you'll be heading over there.
That's right. I will be leaving early.
You're giving the keys to the kingdom to Jay Green. He did such a great job the other day.
You know, I feel like, he's kind of like my Jay Leno when I'm Johnny Carson or something now, right?
Yeah.
So the two of you can close up the last 20 minutes or so of the show.
Appreciate it. Looking forward to it.
I feel in great confidence that you two can handle that. But Jay's going to be here with us as well in studio. And speaking of in studio,
I know you kind of teased it yesterday. A special guest.
Very special guest, and it's appropriate because this is a video show.
Yeah,
we are at 105 West Allegan, so people who would like to watch us can do that on YouTube, right? That's available.
That's right. It's on Drive with Jack on our YouTube channel. If you haven't already, hit subscribe. What are you waiting for? It's free.
Yeah.
And you'll get alerts of when we will be live, usually a couple times a week, depending on schedules and things of that nature, especially here during this time of year with everything going on.
Right.
Jack's a very busy man, so to say the least. So, but yeah, hit subscribe, and you will not miss an episode on YouTube with The Drive with Jack and his mug, as we like to say.
Yeah.
And if you don't like video, which is fine. Don't worry.
No.
We're still on all your podcast platforms audio-wise. So we're just trying to give a little bit more reach to our listeners.
Right.
A little more options, give them a little bit more options, and there's rumblings that TikTok could be in the future as well.
Okay.
We're building towards that. So any of our TikTok listeners out there, make sure to keep an eye on that and get a couple of video clips on TikTok. We'll wait and see how that works out, but looking forward to the future as we move upward and onward.
And with the Facebook page, there is a chat, right, which is open.
Oh, YouTube page.
But
good thing. We have a brand new Facebook page.
Okay.
The Drive with Jack. We'll certainly go ahead and give us the old like button on that as well. And the videos will be posted there as well. I know you've got some ideas for that Facebook page coming up soon.
I do.
So hopefully within the spring
we're going to have
summer,
some prizes. We're going to have some trivia. We're going to have some contests. We're going to have some listener involvement with that. Looking forward to it. So lots going on with this show.
You're all over the social media, Jack. What can I say? You're all
me
over
and Tom Izzo.
You're all over it.
Yeah.
You're all over it.
I remember one time I said to Tom, it's on YouTube. He said, you what? I said, never mind. We won't go there.
I'm surprised he didn't go on another half-hour rant.
That was later. That was on something else.
For sure.
Yeah.
Sure. You always get a rant in there with Coach Izzo at some point in your conversation.
We are going to have a special guest. I understand that this is happening in about 15 minutes. And we're tuning in, if you don't tune in for anything else, although all the Jay Green fans in the area will want to see him. But Dr. Richard Johnson was going to be recognized Sunday as the military salute.
Wow.
That they do before every Michigan State men's basketball home game.
And if I may say, you have been pushing for this for as long as I can remember. And it looks like it's going to happen.
Yeah,
and it's a wonderful thing.
I think so. He was recognized Wednesday night at the Tom Izzo radio show. That was nice. And when you hear his resume, and I think he's coming in the door right now. Yes, I think he is. And that's great. It's great to see him. And he's going to be in studio here shortly. And he has his son with him, I believe, and his daughter-in-law. And so that's going to be he follows directions better than I do, I'll tell you that. So Rob is going to let him in, and we'll get him here shortly when we go to the next break. But he has had an amazing career. And not just the fact that he's 99 years old, but the fact that he has done so many things for so many here, not just a great athlete, not just a member of the Michigan State basketball team, distinguished service, United States military, and then all of his work in medicine for decades, and might be about as loyal a Michigan State fan as I know, when you think about all the games he still attends, when you think about going to coaches' shows, and I think we got a record from Tom Izzo the other night, the most wows said in a row. I think he said the word wow 7 times when he heard more and more about Doc Johnson and what he had accomplished. So we're going to get him on in just a few minutes. Looking forward to that very much. And I think everyone who appreciates what the United States military has done, especially in wartime, especially in wars that were approved by Congress, I think that you have to recognize Doc Johnson's, and we'll talk a little bit about his distinct honor at the end of World War II. There are very few people would ever be considered for the honor which he received. All right. Rob, I wanted to talk to you briefly about the whole Cade Cunningham situation last night, because I'm thinking more and more about this as Cade as an MVP candidate.
Oh, I was before this.
Yeah, you were. You mentioned that. Right?
Yeah. I mean, do I think he's going to win it? No, but he most certainly has got to be in the running. Top 3, maybe even top 2.
Yes.
Sure.
I think so. I don't know anyone who would be more deserving of what he had meant. And once again, I look at it as a most valuable player. If he were not on the team.
No, nowhere near where they
right?
Nowhere near.
I mean, the Pistons without Cade Cunningham, it's not the same team. It's not even the Pistons.
No.
So, and going back through this, Rob, it's amazing the number of games that Cade Cunningham missed when the Pistons won 17 games and 14 games.
Well, that is probably the most key of the whole thing is he's remained healthy.
Yeah.
Throughout this entire season. So that's number 1 on the list, and that was number 1 on the list on a lot of people when we were talking about Cade Cunningham. He's got all the talent in the world, and he's showing it. He just had to stay healthy, and this year most certainly has been able to do that.
There was a time, maybe decade and a half, 2 decades ago, where the Pistons and the Red Wings gave us a lot of enjoyment and, frankly, a needed diversion from the end of April on through after the NCAA tournament and the NFL draft.
Sure.
May and June became very active months in downtown Detroit.
Well, for the Detroit Red Wings, I mean, a lot of people are saying it's about time. This is the type of season they're having, including yourself. I dare I say. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but you have mentioned it's taken a little bit longer than you anticipated. But for the Detroit Pistons, my goodness, this is one of the biggest turnarounds maybe in all of sports when you think of, and you've mentioned this numerous times on this show, where they were not even 2 years ago, but last year. I mean, last year they made the playoffs, and that was, but to make this kind of jump and this type of dominance shown.
Dominance, yeah.
Yeah, and I would dare say the East maybe is down a little bit this year compared to the West.
Yeah.
But most certainly Detroit has taken advantage of that, and most certainly a major threat coming out of the East for an NBA championship. And it pains me to say that, being a Boston's fan, as being from Boston, as you know.
You know, this shows how long it's been. But I mentioned downtown Detroit. When the Pistons were really relevant, they weren't in downtown Detroit.
No,
they were at the Palace of Auburn
Hills.
That's right.
I mean, Little Caesars Arena. This is all new.
That's right.
This is
all new.
All new for people of the younger elk.
That's right. They don't realize. Hey, you know, there's pro basketball and NHL playoffs going on in lots of parts of the country, just not this one. Well, I think we are back.
I think that's about to change.
Yeah, not to say the Red Wings are going to make a long run, but I still think they're going to get in, and the Pistons, they'll be into June. So,
well, if you're a Detroit pro sports fan, I mean, my goodness, these last couple of years, pretty spectacular without winning a championship, right? I mean, I know the Lions struggled here, you know, wasn't the expectations of what they had, but I mean, Detroit Tigers are looking like, you know, they can make another deep run, and they're a young team, right? The Pistons, a young team.
That's right.
Right?
Future's ahead of them.
The Red Wings have a lot of good young talent.
That's right.
It's a good mix. So for Detroit pro sports teams, and I would say the Lions are still a young team.
Yeah.
Compared to others, right? So not only this year, but for years to come, if you're a Detroit pro sports fan, then I mean, you got to be licking your chops, no question.
And the month of April here, Rob, is going to be as intriguing as it has ever been, with Michigan, number 1 in the nation in men's basketball, and they have designs on going 39-1 and then challenging the Pistons. The Michigan women doing very well. They are certainly a top 10 team. Michigan State has a chance to host games in women's basketball, and
with another quick turnaround from with Robin Freilich and what she's been able to do in a couple of years, and Coach Izzo doing Coach Izzo things.
So never count the Michigan State men out with Tom Izzo. They are a top 10 team now, and they plan to get back to the Elite Eight. You know how close they were last year. If Trey Holloman hadn't been 0 for 10 and 0 for 6 from deep.
You think that's the major difference in that game? That was the major.
Well, yeah, they lose by 6 points, and his head is somewhere else, I think.
Yeah.
He's already planning his transfer.
Right.
Figuring out he's going to get his first Venmo deposit. So I'm thinking that that's a chance for Michigan State. Wouldn't it be something if Michigan and Michigan State met in the Final Four and the Frozen Four?
What a concept.
What would that be like?
What a concept. I think we have a better chance of that in hockey.
Yeah, I do too.
Than we would basketball, but it all depends on the matchups, Jack.
Yeah.
It all depends on the bracket and where everybody lands.
Yeah.
So, but most certainly, wow, how special of a time would it be around these parts for that to happen?
Do you think most Michigan State fans, given where their teams are in the polls and in the rankings, would say, okay, Michigan, if you're going to win the national championship in basketball, if we can win the national championship in hockey, we'll take that trade? Or would they rather say, we'd rather not win it in hockey to keep you from winning it in basketball?
I mean, I'm a hockey guy, but I think for Michigan State fans, basketball with Coach Izzo, they would much rather keep Michigan from winning a national title in basketball than in hockey. Mm-hmm. I just because I think basketball is a more popular sport.
So you think they would give up the national championship in hockey just to keep Michigan from winning it in basketball?
I think so. As an overall,
I think you're right.
I think most certainly they would, right? And I threw out this question to my lovely wife Patricia.
Yeah.
Would Michigan State men's basketball fans be okay with losing in the first round of the NCAA tournament if that meant keeping Michigan from winning the whole thing? I think they would.
You think they would?
I think they would.
Yeah. The most popular team in the NCAA tournament for Michigan State fans is going to be whoever's playing Michigan.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Yes.
And a lot of years they haven't had to worry about that.
We're going to have a lot of Duke fans around these.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? Would you believe that? But it's true. There's going to be a lot of Duke fans roaming around this weekend.
Well, what do you make of that? Do you think that the Michigan-Duke game tomorrow night, you got a 1 versus 2 and a 3 versus 4, or 1 versus 3 and 2 versus 4, depending on how you want to look at it. Who wins that game, Michigan or Duke?
On a neutral court?
Yep.
I think it's going to be a close game. It might even go into overtime.
That's not what I asked you.
But I know I'm getting to it. I'm building it up. But I gotta give. I think Michigan's got more weapons. And that's crazy for me to say over a Duke basketball team.
Yeah.
But and I think they got the length. And again, the size.
Duke has length too.
Yeah, they do. But man, Michigan's just got the whole package right now. Right now.
So you're saying Michigan wins tomorrow night?
Wins by single digits.
All right.
Yes.
And what about the game next weekend with Michigan at Illinois?
I think Illinois gets them.
You do?
I think Illinois gets them.
So,
at Illinois, I think they get them.
So Michigan does not finish with one loss, even if they run the table at tournament time?
No, they don't.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yep.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to watch, and there's a lot of basketball to be played. How about this one? What if Illinois beat Michigan? That would give Michigan loss number 2 and the head-to-head advantage over Michigan, right? Yep. The Illini won in their only matchup of the year.
Yep.
And then the last game of the season, Michigan State went into Ann Arbor and beat Michigan and knocked Michigan out of an outright championship and the number 1 seed.
There'd be parties in the streets.
Yeah.
If there was a party for not winning a championship, that would be it right there for here in East Lansing. I'm not saying there's going to be couches being burned or anything, but there would be a lot of happy faces.
By the way, when couches get burned now, does Graham Couch get some name, image, and likeness money out of that?
He should.
I think he should.
Although he's got a lot of sponsors out there. Does he need another one?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, well, I don't know. Groovy Donuts can come up with a special couch burning
maybe
pastry.
Maybe a pastry? Yeah.
All right, we're going to take a break. And when we get back, Dr. Richard Johnson will be in studio. Looking forward to that conversation. And we're going to talk some Michigan State basketball. We're going to talk about his distinguished career. Looking forward to all that and more coming up on The Drive with Jack.
Dean Transportation is looking for compassionate people to join our team of school bus drivers and attendants. Visit deanjobs.com to see all openings. Dean Transportation provides paid training to obtain a commercial driver's license, increased starting pay, comprehensive benefits, and flexible schedules with no weekend shifts. No experience needed. Apply today at deanjobs.com and train for back to school season. That's DEAN jobs.com.
Hey Jack, I'm looking for a lunch deal that actually scores.
One North Kitchen and Bar has a 2 for $12 lunch combo, right, Jeremy?
Absolutely. We can mix and match half sandwiches, salads, soups, or classics like cheese quesadillas and personal pizzas. Weekdays 11 to 2 and Saturdays from 10 to 2.
One North.
Easy win.
So, it's been a while since you've had your jewelry cleaned and inspected, right? Where will you go and who will you trust with your most valuable and treasured heirlooms? At Meadowar Jewelers' 4 locations in Lansing, Okemos, Jackson, and Portage, jewelry isn't just our job, it's our passion. Each and every piece entrusted in our care is thoroughly inspected by our trained staff against damage or normal wear. And we offer you, our customer, the highest level of quality on repairs and custom designs. Whether it's worn out prongs, channels, or shanks, it's all handled with incredible care. Meadowar Jewelers in Lansing, Okemos, Jackson, and Portage want to help you preserve your memories and offer you options on creating new ones. Come in today for the cleaning and inspection of your jewelry. We continue to work hard every day to earn your confidence and trust.
Jack Ebling here with my good friend Matt Sloan at Graph of Okemos. Great time to get a great vehicle.
Fantastic time, Jack. 0% financing is back. Hard to believe this time right now we can get a vehicle with 0 interest.
Wow.
And if you're looking to pay cash, how about rebates up to $10,000? That's unheard of lately, right? $10,000 off on a vehicle. How about leasing? You want to lease? You can lease a vehicle right now in the low 3s. Come on out and take a look.
We're talking everyone's language. Stop and see Matt and the gang. They're making friends.
Welcome back. It is The Drive with Jack, the Spotlight Radio Network. Jack Ebling here with my producer, Boston Rob. And we have a very distinguished guest in studio. Maybe as important a guest as we have had in the 13 years we've done this show. We are now at 3,005 shows with The Drive with Jack. And no one I've wanted to talk to more than Dr. Richard Johnson, who will be honored Sunday afternoon at Breslin Center with the military salute. Congratulations, Doc.
Thank you very much, Jack. It's very nice.
Tom Izzo is also very happy that you're going to be there. He loves the military salute.
Yeah.
So when you go out there and they play the national anthem and then all those players come and they shake your hand, how are you going to feel?
Well, I'll feel like I hope I can stand up.
Well, you've been standing up and standing strong your whole life, 99 years old, right?
Right.
What did you think the other night when Tom Izzo said that he might want you to meet his mother?
Well, I have met his mother before.
Ah.
I helped one night when they had a banquet over on the South, what is it, Holiday Inn?
Yes, Holiday Inn South.
I helped Loopy with her one night. That was probably 10, 12 years ago.
We want to talk about your amazing career, and you were born in East Lansing.
Correct, yep.
Other than your stay in the military and your time at med school somewhere else, you've lived here in Michigan your whole life?
Yes, yes. I was just trying to think. Yes, I have. I was a resident in Detroit for 3 years.
Okay.
At Harper Hospital.
Harper Hospital.
Yeah.
So before you came to Michigan State, you were an outstanding athlete at East Lansing High School, right? 3 sports?
Well, we did whatever was in season.
Football, basketball, baseball, and we know you were a tremendous baseball player. But you saw Michigan State the first time when you were smuggled into Macklin Field, right? You were kind of on a cart or something.
Well, my brother was a senior manager that year, and it was different at that time. It wasn't all enclosed.
Yeah.
You could drive a car in from the south end to the little halfway little house on either end of the stadium.
Okay.
And they put me under the robes in the back of the seat of the car, and I got in, and they got me to the bench, and I was there. It was a Marquette game, as I remember. I can remember that, and I know Charlie Bachman probably knew I was there, and his kids were contemporaries of mine.
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah.
His older son was a good friend throughout our lives, and he, I'm sure, knew I was there. But the thing that I remember was when those big guys came off the field, some of the substitutions. Saying, man, they're big.
They're big.
Here I was, just a little kid, 5, 6, 7 years old. I don't know how old.
Well, before Charlie Bachman, and Charlie Bachman, of course, predated Biggie Munn.
Yeah.
But before that, Michigan State had a head coach who was a member of the Four Horsemen.
Yes, right.
You remember those days?
Jimmy Crowley.
Jim Crowley.
Yeah.
You know what, Rob? I think that I should just take Doc with me to the game, and I wouldn't need a media guide.
Yeah.
I can just, hey, Doc, what happened back in 1932? He can tell me all that.
I'm thinking he can take over the show and you can just leave.
That's been suggested. A lot of people have thought that'd be a good idea. So now you complete your career at East Lansing, and you're going to attend Michigan State College.
Right. Or whatever.
It was MSc.
I'm not into those things.
Yeah. It was MAC and then MSc.
Yeah.
And then finally MSU. But you're going to be going there in the 40s, and you wind up on the basketball team. You've been very adamant about not trying to impress anyone. You weren't All-American. You weren't a player in the game against Kentucky. You actually had an injury, right?
I did, yeah.
Can you tell us about that?
Well, we were in a scrimmage upstairs in the
Jennison?
I think we were up in Jennison at that time.
Yeah.
Nick Hashew's knee hit my thigh, and I couldn't walk very well for quite a while.
Oh, jeez.
So I used Jack Heppenstall's heat baths and things like that for quite a while. But that was finished anything I did.
Yeah. Well, I have a copy of the team picture from 1945, and you're sitting on the bench next to some guy named Breslin.
That's right, Jack.
Right?
Friend Jack, yeah.
Yeah. You guys watched a lot of that season together.
Oh, yeah, I think so. I don't think Jack played either.
So there was a memorable game, however, against Kentucky in Jennison, and Michigan State got a win in that game, but it wasn't long, and you were drafted, and it wasn't into the NBA.
That's absolutely correct. Yeah. Well, I was 17 when I graduated from high school. So the local draft board, if somebody was 17 and they started college, they would let you finish a year in college before they drafted you.
Okay.
So it was April after that I had 3 terms.
This is near the end of the war.
No, 45.
45.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm thinking about VJ Day and all those things. So you are drafted, and you spent time stateside here, right? And then
always.
And then the war ends. Tell us about this Bell of Saint Michel that
there's a Bell of Saint. The island there. Anyhow, that was given to the archives building, to the archives, to be rung when the war was over.
Okay.
And I happened to be from Virginia Military, where I was at that time in the ASTP program, going to school, and I was over at Washington for the weekend. And that was real nice because they had come around in little buses type things, and there are a lot of people like us that were just over there, had no place to go.
Right.
they'd pick us up and take us over to Fort Lee.
Okay.
Give us sheets and beds and things like that.
Yeah.
Then in the morning have breakfast and then go back to town. Well, I was in the archives building, and the archivist came out with this little bell. It was on a chain with two people that hold on to it. And he said it was to be rung by the people of when the war was over.
Yeah.
So he dragged me and a young wave lady.
Uh-huh.
And the two of us hung on the little bell and jingled the bell. And that was
what an honor.
Yeah, it was very nice.
Yeah.
The picture was in the Post and the Herald Tribune and in the Times and things like that at that time.
Doc, I have heard one other story about your youth, and I want you to fill in some of the details. It has to do with a bicycle trip that you took.
Okay. Well, I'm not sure why my folks let us do it, but I was still in high school, and my folks were from a small town in upstate New York, near Cooperstown. Most people have heard of Cooperstown.
Finger Lakes area?
Yeah, and I had 3 aunts that lived in Cooperstown. And my uncle there was the director of the baseball museum.
Oh, the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, So anyhow, we took off on our bicycles, and we'd taken the boat from Detroit to Buffalo at that time.
Okay.
Greater Detroit.
So you rode the bikes to Detroit and then took a boat across the lake.
But out in the middle of the lake, the draft shaft or something in the boat broke down. So they came out with tugs and pulled us into Cleveland.
Huh.
And they arranged for us to get on the train to get.
It's the only reason anyone would ever go to Cleveland is if your boat broke down, but that's okay. Yeah.
So we get tickets and got our bikes and stuff on the train, and we got to Buffalo there, and then took off cross country, which was another 200 miles, 250 miles maybe.
And your parents were okay with all this?
Yeah, they did.
Either you had more trusting parents or you were a lot more responsible than I was, because my parents would have said, this is a bad idea.
I had relatives near Rochester and relatives near Utica.
Checking up on you.
Where I could stop. And I had a relative that had a dry cleaning store in Little Falls, New York.
Okay.
And we were going to stay there. We pulled in there and at the dry cleaning place, which was very close to the YMCA. And they said, go over to the Y. He's already arranged the room for you over there. But he was over at the farm where my dad grew up.
Okay.
And so we stayed there that night, and the next day took off.
Took off again.
That was another.
How old were you at this point?
I'm 15.
15.
Probably.
Wow. All right, now the war is over, and you're coming back, and it's time for med school.
Yeah, well, I had to go to finish college.
You had to finish at Michigan State first, right?
Right, yes.
Okay, so you finished your degree. You always want to be a doctor?
Who knows what I wanted to be. I hope it was always good.
Yeah. Did you have anyone in your family who had been in medicine?
Well, my older brother was
a doctor. So, okay. Yeah. So that made sense.
He's the one who got me in the football game.
Yeah. So now you finish your undergraduate degree. You go to med school. Michigan State, of course, doesn't have a med school at this point, right? And so you have to take the best available option.
That was good. I could have gone to Wayne, too, but you gone to Wayne, it was very hard to get a place to stay that was any place near the school.
So when you were in med school in Ann Arbor, did you wear a lot of green stuff around there, or did you ever wear Mason blue?
Not too much.
No.
Those people down there didn't like that.
I don't think I've ever seen a picture of you wearing a Michigan cap or anything, though. So you're good.
No,
you're good
I don't think I have any.
No. So now you finish med school, and you have lots of options. I mean, you could have stayed in Southeast Michigan. You could have gone to New York. You could have done a lot of things. You came back to East Lansing.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, I was always, I came back, after my first year in medical school, I got married.
Oh, you did? That's when you got married. Okay.
Yeah. So.
Tell us a little bit about that courtship, can you?
Well, we knew each other from someplace in grade school. Maybe you know her dad. He was director of WKER.
Oh.
Bob Coleman.
Okay. Yeah, I know that name.
Yeah.
Never met him, but I certainly know the name. Yeah. So this is a long relationship, which came to fruition when you were out or you in med school.
Yeah.
And then came back to East Lansing and set up your practice, right? Obstetrics?
Well, I came in practice with Mike Sharp, Dr. Sharp.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how long did you practice medicine here?
Oh, a little over 30 years. Wow. And I've been retired 36, I think.
Rob, I got to tell you that Doc Johnson is one of the happiest, heartiest, most successful retirees. I know people. Tom Izzo couldn't retire because he wouldn't know what to do the next day, right? And it seems like it's been perfect for you. I also heard a story from Will Tiemann.
Okay.
That a few years ago you were playing golf.
Yeah,
you were a club member, right?
Jeff and Bob Bow and I were
and
playing.
Bob Bow, okay. Well, I know who was the best in that foursome. And Will insisted you outdrove him, and he started to wonder. He said, how old is this guy? Mm-hmm. But you obviously were a pretty good golfer.
Well, I don't think my handicap was ever lower than 15, probably.
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
Well, you could play with us if you're playing at that rate. So the Michigan State fandom, how long have you been? I mean, you've been going to games all the time. I see you at every basketball game, home game.
Yeah.
And you have your sons here, right? You want to talk a little bit about your family. I've had a lot of conversations with your daughter, Janet.
Mm-hmm.
She's delightful. And you have sons here. You want to introduce them?
Yes, I have my oldest son, Jeff, who is a retired general surgeon in Lansing.
Nice.
And he helps me a great deal and transports me to most of the things I go to.
Yeah.
And my young son, Doug, who is a professor at Berkeley School of Music in Boston.
Nice.
And I don't know if it's jazz piano or what, but I guess we call it jazz piano, I guess.
Rob, we need a new intro for this show. We're not letting them out of the studio until we get something we can play. So
I also got my granddaughter here, and my granddaughter is in music management. And she was talking on the phone today to somebody in Japan about getting a couple groups over there. So
nice. And her name is?
Her name is Myra Johnson.
Hi, Myra.
Yep.
Myra is definitely the best looking in this group, in this room right now. There's no doubt, but you can't see her on camera. You have to take my word for it. Okay. Of all of the teams and all the players you have seen at Michigan State, let's start with football. Who's your favorite player?
Oh, my goodness, my favorite player.
There are a lot of them.
Yeah.
Can be Biggie era, Duffy era, George era, D'Antonio, Kenneth Walker, whoever you like.
We saw him in the pro game the other
night.
night.
Saw him in the Super Bowl, right?
Did quite well. Well, there are just a couple East Lansing guys that played at Michigan State.
Okay.
And Ernie Bremer was one of them.
Okay.
And we used to see him later in church and stuff. And, of course, Jerry Drake.
Okay.
And Jerry Drake, Dick Bates, who was...
yeah, I know Dick.
Dick went to Michigan State. And I have a long history with Dick. He was a counselor when I went to Cub Scout camp when I was 9. And the next time I met him, we were at Mackinac Island. There's a Boy Scout cabin up there.
Okay.
I was up there with a troop, and Dick had in charge of that for the summer.
Did you go to any of the Rose Bowls that Michigan State played in California?
Been there twice.
Twice. You bring them luck?
I don't know if I did or not. The first one they lost, didn't they?
Oh, in 66, right?
Yeah.
Lost to UCLA?
Yeah.
And then were you there when Perlis was coaching in '87, the '87 team?
Yeah, I was there. It was quite nice because we had good friends that lived in Long Beach.
Okay. So that's nice.
So we stayed. We were there for a good week.
What's your favorite sport, football or basketball?
Well,
you're gonna say baseball.
I'd have to say basketball.
Basketball. Yeah. Well, you have a good seat. You're right in front of me.
Yeah.
2 rows.
I can't see you though.
No, you can't look back over your shoulder. Trust me, I'm there. I see you every game. But for Michigan State basketball, so many greats. Do you have a couple that stand out to you?
Well, probably the first one that I really recall, and when I was a youngster still, was Chet Aubuchon.
Oh, yeah. Houdini of the hardwood, they called him, right?
One of the best of all time.
One of the great dribbling wizards.
Yeah. He would get a ball near the end of the game and dribble shoulder high.
Oh, yeah.
All around everybody. Nobody could touch him. And I guess he came up with, was an Indiana AAU team.
Okay.
That Ben Van Alstyne recruited the whole team up there.
Yeah, brought them all up, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was, of course, the star of it. And there wasn't anybody on that team that was over 6'2".
Right. Yeah, they were all small but fast and very skilled.
Yeah.
Do you remember what it was like the first time you saw Irvin Johnson play?
Well, yeah, I saw him play a couple times in high school.
High school, right? Yeah. Everett would be playing East Lansing or whatever, right?
Never played. They didn't play East Lansing at
Didn't
that
play
time.
them.
No.
Okay. Maybe you saw him in a tournament or something else.
Well, we saw him. We went over to Everett a couple
Went
times.
over to see him there. Yeah.
And then we had the time when they played Eastern at
Don Johnson Fieldhouse.
Well, also at Jenison.
At Jenison they did. That's right. That's right.
And Don Johnson told me, he said, we made more money when we played at Eastern than we did at Michigan State.
How about that? Yeah. So then Michigan State wins the national championship with Judd Heathcote.
Yeah.
And then he's got this little assistant coach who used to have to go get the balls when they bounced off the court. And then he becomes the head coach. And Tom Izzo's been here 43 years now. That's not almost half your life, not quite, but getting there. And the other night when he stood up and gave you that standing ovation, and then during the commercial break, he came over to see you and thank you for your service. What did that mean to you?
Well, it was very nice, yeah. And my grandson was in preschool with his daughter.
Oh, is that right? Rocky?
Year. And she knew Loopy.
Okay.
In high school.
How about that?
Yeah.
Well, we are less than 48 hours away from your recognition, long overdue, I can tell you. But there are a lot of people excited about this, people who've known you. I got a call today from someone who said, it's Sunday, right? I said, yeah, it's Sunday. So they're ready for Sunday before 1 o'clock, and you will be out there with the military salute and play the national anthem. When you hear the national anthem, how do you stand at attention? You stand with your hand over your heart?
My hand over my heart, yes.
And what does that song mean every time you hear it? What do you think of?
Well, I see a lot of people who don't seem to recognize it at all.
Yeah.
They just don't pay any attention.
Yeah.
To the salute.
Does that make you sad?
Well, it makes you a little uneasy, yeah.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming in.
Well, thanks.
This was big fun, and I'm so glad that we got to see your sons and your granddaughter, right?
Right.
Here with you. So, and hi, Janet. Sorry you couldn't be here as well, but you're going to have everybody at the game Sunday, I assume?
For my young grandson in Chicago, and his to-be wife are coming, I guess, tonight.
Okay.
So they'll be here on Sunday.
And you're guaranteeing a victory over Ohio State, right?
Well, that's a tough one. I was, years ago, you knew Bill Sharp, of course.
Yeah, sure.
Well, his daughter Melanie was having a baby, and Bill and I were at the hospital at that night, and we came over. She had delivered, and we came over about maybe at the half. We got to the game. And it was against Ohio State, and it was the game where I don't know what happened, but Magic got hurt.
That's right, 1979.
Someone during the game.
That's right.
He was off the court for a while, and then they came back.
That's right.
And they won, I think, in overtime.
Exactly right.
And
exactly right.
I think my friend Young Haywood made the basket that won the game that night.
How about that?
Yeah.
Tremendous.
Yeah.
Doc, thanks so much for coming in. It's always great to have Team Johnson here. Yeah. We'll see you Sunday afternoon.
Thanks, Jack. Thank you very much. It's very nice.
This is our version of the pre-military salute for the Ohio State game. We will be right back, and Jay Green is in the house. Proud Flintstone, and Jay was also at One North the other night applauding for you. So he was part of the crowd there on Team Johnson. We will be right back on The Drive with Jack.
Jack Ebling here with my good friend Matt Sloan at Graph of Okemos. Some great product here in early 2026.
You got it, Jack. Here at Chevy, we have, backed by popular demand, the all-new Bolt. Redesigned and back in full force for us. People are really excited about that vehicle. It did great for us in the past.
Great.
And then next door, the Nissan Sentra, completely redesigned for that model. Great fuel economy. It's going to be a hot seller for us.
Stop and see Matt and the gang at Graph of Okemos. They're making friends.
Dean Transportation is looking for compassionate people to join our team of school bus drivers and attendants. Visit deanjobs.com to see all openings. Dean Transportation provides paid training to obtain a commercial driver's license, increased starting pay, comprehensive benefits, and flexible schedules with no weekend shifts. No experience needed. Apply today at deanjobs.com and train for back to school season. That's DEAN jobs.com.
Hey, Jack, you love a good gift card.
Yes, Jeremy, I do.
One North makes it even better. Reload your One North gift card now through January for 15% off and keep those good meals coming. Lunch, dinner, happy hour, covered. Reload it, use it, repeat. One North Kitchen and Bar.
Where gift cards keep giving.
So, it's been a while since you've had your jewelry cleaned and inspected, right? Where will you go and who will you trust with your most valuable and treasured heirlooms? At Meadowar Jewelers' 4 locations in Lansing, Okemos, Jackson, and Portage, jewelry isn't just our job, it's our passion. Each and every piece entrusted in our care is thoroughly inspected by our trained staff against damage or normal wear. And we offer you, our customer, the highest level of quality on repairs and custom designs. Whether it's worn out prongs, channels, or shanks, it's all handled with incredible care. Meadowar Jewelers in Lansing, Okemos, Jackson, and Portage want to help you preserve your memories and offer you options on creating new ones. Come in today for the cleaning and inspection of your jewelry. We continue to work hard every day to earn your confidence and trust.
Jack Ebling here with my good friend Matt Sloan at Graph of Okemos. Great time to get a great vehicle.
Fantastic time, Jack. 0% financing is back. Hard to believe this time right now we can get a vehicle with 0 interest.
Wow.
And if you're looking to pay cash, how about rebates up to $10,000? That's unheard of lately, right? $10,000 off on a vehicle. How about leasing? You want to lease? You can lease a vehicle right now in the low 3s. Come on out and take a look.
We're talking everyone's language. Stop and see Matt and the gang. They're making friends.
Everybody, I want to hear it now.
Green, green, it's green they say on the far side of the hill. Green, green.
Welcome back. It is The Drive with Jack, the Spotlight Radio Network. Jack Ebling here with my producer, Boston Rob. Rob, I'm thinking that Doc Johnson is 25 years older than I am.
How great was that last segment, man?
That was a lot of fun, I got to tell you.
Freaking amazing.
Yeah. I just hope that if I'm fortunate to get close to 99 years old, that I am 1/10 as sharp as he is and my memory is intact. And he's talking about what happened in 1930, and I'm like...
Without missing a beat.
Yeah, yeah.
Amazing.
Fantastic.
Truly amazing.
Another guy you would say is fantastic.
And amazing. And amazing.
And amazing. Going to be a member of the Flint African American Sports Hall of Fame. That's next month, right?
Yes.
Jay Green.
Yes.
Jay, that's a tremendous honor. How many members are there in that hall? Do you know?
That's a great question. I have no idea, but with the
is there a museum or a place where we can go and see plaques and things?
They just put somewhere. They just redid the Flint Public Library, so they have a place in there that they have reserved for that. So yes, you can go there and see it.
Nice, very nice.
Yes.
Have you been to the Greater Lansing Area Sports Hall of Fame at the Lansing Center?
No.
I'm going to take you over there and look.
Okay.
Because Bob Every and company, mostly Bob, have turned it into a museum. And they have an entire hallway, and then down the other way, they're kind of running out of room, actually, with all the displays and mementos and boxing gloves from Muhammad Ali and warm-up Olympic stuff from Judy Brown and all the Michigan State stuff you'd find. But all the members there have their plaques. And it's when you walk over from what was the Radisson Hotel. That's changed names now.
Exactly what you're
right? So you come across the river, there's that tube, right? And people would be going to meetings. They have symposiums or seminars or things over at the Lansing Center. And I've seen people actually come over there and never get to the meeting because they start looking at all the stuff. They go, oh, my God, John Smoltz. You know, they're from Georgia, and they didn't know John Smoltz was from Lansing.
Right.
But they just sit there and, you know, and then they look, oh, my God, it's 45 minutes later. They're still looking at it. So that's big fun. We just had a meeting today to pick the 50th anniversary enshrinement class. 50 years. Started in 1976, the bicentennial year.
Wow.
And we've got an unbelievable class coming in mid-August.
Can't wait to see it.
Yeah.
Can't wait to see it.
Tickets will be hard to get for this one. But you usually know people. You usually know
you.
You know me. Yeah, exactly. All right. Jay, you want to talk a little bit about Michigan State basketball first. The big win over UCLA. And Michigan had beaten UCLA by 30. Then Michigan State was up 31. Put the reserves in, and at the end of the game, those things happen. They end up winning by 23. But they were up 31, and I'm sitting next to Larry Lage from Associated Press. I said, I wonder when the last time was that UCLA lost back-to-back games by 30. So he's got all these research things, right? He can go to with Associated Press, and about 5 minutes later, they spit him back an answer. It had never happened in UCLA basketball history. The last time they had lost back-to-back games by 20 was in 1944 and 45. They lost to USC and an all-star team from 20th Century Fox Studios during the war. So it had been 71 years. No, I take that back. It's been 81 years. 81 years since UCLA had lost back-to-back games by 20 or more.
And they counted that all-star game against Fox.
They did. Well, you know, Michigan counts all those games against these high schools, right?
Correct.
I mean, come on.
Shame on me.
Yeah,
Shame on me.
I think a lot of people, because of not the current success, forget about the history of UCLA basketball. You would think that maybe at least, you know, a couple of 30-point and 20-point losses back-to-back have occurred. But, you know, they were good for a long time, and it just wasn't happening.
You know, they went through that period with John Wooden. You think about that, from 1948 to 1975, so that's 28 years right there.
Bill Walton.
Yeah.
I mean, you can...
Lou Alcindor / Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
In 12 years. Can you imagine that?
10 titles.
Championships in 12 years? Like
that'll never happen again.
No,
right?
That will never happen again.
Yeah.
I think Connecticut won back-to-back, but I think even back-to-back these days is
very hard.
Yes.
Very, very hard.
Yes.
Florida did it in 06, 07, and then UConn, but extremely difficult to win. It's hard to win one.
Yes, I
win
agree.
two.
I agree.
Do you know the story about John Wooden, how he got to UCLA?
No.
He had played at Purdue. He was one of the greatest players in Purdue history, right?
I remember that.
So now he is the coach at Indiana State, Larry Bird School, in Terre Haute, long before Larry Bird was alive. And he's the coach there, and he's winning like crazy, right? And he's the hot guy around the country. So UCLA calls him, and they want to offer him the job. And he has his heart set on another job, a Big Ten job. And if he had gotten it, the history of Big Ten basketball would have been rewritten forever. He really wanted to go to Minnesota. Wow. Minnesota was the power at the time, and they had said, we think you're the guy, but we're not quite ready. We got to talk to somebody else here. So just hang by the phone, and we'll let you know by Sunday at noon. He says, okay. So he tells UCLA, I can't make a decision yet. They're kind of his backup, right? His fallback plan. So he's waiting and waiting and waiting, and no call from Minnesota. Turns out they have had an ice storm, and all the telephone lines are down. Everything is down. They're trying to reach John Wooden. They cannot reach him.
You're blaming Mother Nature on this whole thing?
I am. And it comes, and finally UCLA says, Coach, you're our guy. We love you. We want to make you the coach at UCLA. And UCLA was nothing other than Jackie Robinson. It had no athletic real tradition or history, but
and no snowstorms.
And no
knocking out phone blinds over
and
here,
so
Coach.
Finally, John Wooden says, well, Minnesota obviously isn't interested, takes the job. A few hours later, they get phone service in Minneapolis. Call him and offer him the job. The job he's dreamed of. The job's going to pay him more money. The job with a better chance to win championships. And John Wooden, and there are people who don't like John Wooden. People are jealous of John Wooden. Judd didn't like John Wooden. Bob Knight didn't like John Wooden. He was jealous of him. But John Wooden told them, I gave my word. Four-word answer. I gave my word. And he went out to UCLA and started from scratch. And from 1948 to 1963, they were good. 15 years. They were good. And they were good out west, but they never won a championship. And then starting in 1964 with Walt Hazzard and Gail Goodrich, there they go.
I think that's interesting. So earlier today, I was looking online, and they had 10 different stories. There were recruiting stories of football recruits who had backstories where they were they wanted to go somewhere else, but wound up at the place where they ended up at. So listening to you tell that story, that I always believe that everything happens the way that it's supposed to.
Yeah, for a reason.
Yeah, and for a reason. Like I always believe that, and I think that what you just said is a testament of that, because if he had gone, and then think about the times that we're talking about, because when you're talking about there's an ice storm, a lot of people thinking, well, why didn't they call on the cell phone? But
what's a cell phone?
Yeah, exactly.
In 1948,
exactly, that wasn't the thing back then. So it feel like they were just even getting phones and being able to call on just to set that point.
If you had said to somebody, well, send them an email.
Well, it's even more amazing, and I didn't really know this. It took him a while to get the success at UCLA. When I think of John Wooden, I just think, oh, man, he came there, and he didn't have great teams right away, but I didn't think it took him that long to really establish themselves as championship material. Never mind.
Good teams.
Wow.
But the team out there that won the national championship in 1959 was Cal Berkeley, which was UCLA's big brother at that point. In fact, Cal and UCLA have the same fight song.
Wow.
And Cal is the Bears, and UCLA is the Baby Bears or the Bruins. They're the Bear Cubs, right?
So it took him a while to win a championship. There'd be no way in hell that he would be able to survive that long during now.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but during that time, wasn't it like freshmen couldn't play, so guys were only playing 3 years?
Yeah. Freshmen could not play varsity ball until 1972 football season. So if you were at Michigan State like Eric Allen or any of the great players from the 60s, Brad Van Pelt, they didn't have a freshman year. They played on the freshman team, which would play like 3 games. Michigan State freshmen would always play Ohio State, Michigan, and Notre Dame freshman games. And they'd get 20,000 people there to watch the freshman game. But on Saturdays, they're just sitting in the stands.
Wow.
And then 1972, Michigan State opened at Illinois, and that was the first time a freshman played under these new rules. Now, Jay, this year they're going to have a 9th-year player.
Jay, I think you got some eligibility left all of a sudden.
Jay says, I got 4 years left. What are you talking about?
It's too much because I'm a certain way, and my way don't fit with how things go. So, yeah, the money, I've never been moved by money, and that's really the only reason it would be to do it, because we weren't getting paid when I played, and they are now.
Yeah.
And that would be the only reason for me to do it, and that's never been my motivation. So, yeah, that just wouldn't work.
Jay Green, always one of the best dressed guys in town, if you like Spartan gear. All right, explain your garb today. You've got the hoodie, the Big Ten hoodie, right?
Yes.
B1G. Okay. That's sharp, green and white.
So I have to give credit where credit is due, as always. And give credit to Curtis Daniel.
Oh.
So he sent me a picture. He saw a picture of Coach Izzo at his press conference with one on. So then he sent me a picture.
Yeah.
And he had one on, and I didn't realize that was a thing. So I immediately went online
and got yours
and got mine. So
explain the hat.
The hat is I can never find. For one, I always have to wear fitted hats.
Yeah, you can't wear the snap hat.
Everything, if I put it on the snapback, it's like on the last thing, and it just don't look right. So I have
That's
to wear
because your head has so much brain power, right?
I don't know about that, but it is big. It is definitely.
But that's
big.
sharp. That's green on green.
No, this is black on black.
Yeah. Black? It looks green here.
That's even better. It looks green.
Oh my God, it looks green to me.
So I went and bought a black hat and took it to a place and just had them put, they have the places that are licensed to do it. So I just went somewhere and had them put the logo on it.
Okay.
And it also, I personalized it. Let me show you.
Yeah.
Has my initials on the back. So no one can say that it's theirs.
It's an original.
It's a one of one.
One of one.
Wow.
It's a one of one. Yes.
So if anybody wants to get a Jay Green hat, where are those marketed? You get a cut of those?
On his head. That's where it's marketed.
Yeah. It's on my head.
That's it. Only one.
Every Friday. Tune in every Friday.
All right. I am on my way to Munn for the second Notre Dame-Michigan State hockey game. Spartans have 2 series left. Next week at home against Ohio State, and on the road at Minnesota. And they take care of business here. They'll be the number 1 seed in the Big Ten tournament and then on to the NCAA tournament. I'm going to turn it over to you and Rob. You did such a good job last week. By popular demand, someone said to me, "You ever take Fridays off?" I said, "Well, not often." They said, "Well, you should." So you guys can have fun for the next 25 minutes.
I will definitely enjoy it. It's always a pleasure doing a show with Boston Rob.
Oh, my goodness.
Have a great weekend.
All right. Thank you, Jack.
Same.
All right, Jay. Well, man, this is going to be a lot of fun. I always love talking to you about Michigan State sports and just sports in general. I do want to mention one thing. Mm-hmm. Jack brought up the UCLA game with Michigan State, and you being a former athlete, I want to get your context in all of this. Some things happened during the end of that game, and after the game I want to get your comments on. I'm sure you've seen. First, the ejection of the UCLA player, not by a referee, but by his own head coach. And you being a former player, I want to get your thoughts on that first, and then we'll get to the media aspect, because you've spent a lot of time now with the media and seeing how it works with Jack and some other media outlets. So I want to get that. But first, the player ejection by your own head coach. Have you ever seen anything like that before?
I grew up in the Bob Knight era, so I feel like that, that is kind of just a sign of the times, because, when I grew up, when we played, coaches, it wasn't cameras everywhere, so there's no telling what might happen. So in front of a crowd, and as far as today's standards go, I've never seen anything like that, but as far as seeing things in my life, I've seen a lot worse than coach ejecting a player. I've seen mothers come on the court and remove players. I've seen my own mother come and remove me from players. So.
Did you think it was warranted? I mean, did you see the play? What did you think of the play and just how it all transpired?
So I reserve, I don't like commenting on stuff like that.
Okay, fair enough.
No, and I'm going to explain why, because I don't know what the relationship is between the coach and the player. And I say that because, like, we'll see a lot of times where Coach Izzo will get on a player and it's like a huge issue around the country. But us around here, we just be looking like, well, like, what's the big deal? Like, that always happens. That's how he is. And we feel like guys that come here know what they're getting themselves into. So I don't know what the relationship is with the coach and the player. I don't know if there's a problem, because every time I see this coach doing a press conference, he's kind of, it's kind of the same thing. So this is like, it's not like it's something new.
Yeah, he's pretty much been the same way.
Yes.
He's not changing for anybody. And he's brutally honest, which in some aspects I appreciate, but in other aspects maybe just going a little bit too overboard with some things.
Well, again, I just think that that's a sign of the times and the way that people see things now, and because you're so much exposed to it, and it's everywhere. Everywhere you look, they were talking about it on all the ESPN shows.
Oh, my goodness. Yes.
All the talk radio show, like everywhere, all the podcasts, this was the topic of discussion when, again, I've seen a time where it would just be nothing. I seen Bob Knight throw a chair onto the court.
Yes, a couple times, right? Just not this. That wasn't a one-time thing, if memory serves me correct.
Exactly. There's a video of him in practice choking one of his kids. A kid that he played with. So yes,
we've seen players choking coaches in the NBA way back in the day. So
yes. Again, it's a sign of the times, which I totally understand. The people that have a problem with it, I understand why you have a problem with it. But again, I think that's between the coach and the player and what their relationship is. Because the one thing that I do know from working with kids, if a kid knows that you genuinely care about them, you can pretty much use any means to get a point across to them, and they'll know that it's coming from love. So,
yeah, and let's go back now to the media aspect of it, because Coach Cronin was not done. A good friend of ours, Matt Wenzel from MLive.com, covers Michigan State football and basketball. We had him on yesterday and obviously talked about the situation where he was trying to ask Coach about Xavier Booker's return to the Breslin Center and the reaction from the Izzone to Xavier Booker, which we'll get to here in a minute. But Coach Cronin most certainly did not really care for that question, to say the least. As a matter of fact, called it probably the dumbest question he's ever been asked, which to me is a little outlandish. But again, as you are getting now closer to the media aspect of things, seeing things and hanging out with Jack and seeing how it all develops from the media aspect, what did you think about his comments after the game in the hallway there before the press conference?
Again, it was nothing that I hadn't seen before from him, so I wasn't really surprised that it happened. As far as whether he's right or wrong, I don't think I'm media savvy enough to say whether he's right or wrong. In my mind, he's just saying how he feels, and a lot of time I know that that's something that's frowned upon. But you put a microphone in somebody's face after a 20-point loss.
And that's my next question to you as an athlete. What do you think about the media access legitimately minutes after either a heartbreaking loss or a really bad defeat, or the other way, a victory?
I think that it's a tough deal. It's an emotional time because you put so much into winning and getting a victory that having to answer these questions. Like if you had something happen to you in life, like a death or something, would you want people asking you questions after that happened, when you're trying to process and deal with
minutes
happened?
after?
Exactly.
Right. Yes.
And I'm not nowhere near comparing death to a basketball game, but I'm just saying that's as far as life goes, that's kind of the thing that you think about and that you deal with. So I think that, again, it's tough, but people have done it. But again, this isn't the first time we've seen somebody go off kind of half-cocked, so to speak, on the media, and it won't be the last time.
No, for sure. For full round circle here, basically, Coach Cronin did come out, I believe it was today, earlier, and gave a 4-minute apology to the media and about the way he acted with the player. So again, it's full circle kind of moment for him, and it'll be interesting to see how the team responds now with their next game. It doesn't get any easier as they will face Illinois at UCLA. But as we know, and you know, Jay, Illinois could very well be not only a legitimate Final Four basketball team.
No, I agree. And the apology that they got from him, I mean, that's really all you can ask. If you do something wrong, just admit that you did something wrong and apologize for it. I didn't see it. I'm assuming that it was sincere. Mm-hmm. You know, he had some time to think about it and process it, which, again, usually is when the clearer thoughts come through. When you're going through whatever you're going through, you're not always thinking clear. And I always give credit to people who are able to, you know, kind of compartmentalize and, you know, do that without, you know, letting their emotions spill over into it.
Do you think there should be a period of, how can I want to put this? Do you think as far as media getting access to players and coaches, do you think there should be a longer period before that happens after a game? Or do you like that raw reaction, good, bad, or indifferent?
No, I like the raw reaction. I think that it's just a way of going about doing it to where it's respectable.
It's not what you say sometimes, it's how you say it.
Exactly. Because if he said the same thing in a different way, it wouldn't have been taken as it was taken. So I like the raw reaction. And again, this has been the standard for as long as we've known sports. You know, when the game is over, they have the interviews. And so we all know as athletes and coaches what we're getting ourselves into. So you know that's part of it. Even though it's tough, it's still part of it. But what we do as coaches and athletes is tough, and everybody can't do that.
Right.
So,
all right, well, I want to talk about a sport real quick that is near and dear to your heart. I know you love basketball, but we're going to talk a little football because there was an announcement earlier this week. The spring showcase or spring practice is back for Michigan State football. Feelings towards that, and we'll get into your expectations very early on. Just your very early on expectations of what Coach Fitzgerald and his staff has been able to do. But how excited are you to have the spring showcase or quote-unquote spring game back at Spartan Stadium?
I think just spring practice, period, is exciting. You know, but the fact that they're having a spring showcase, I always felt like that was more of a fan thing, and you always want to do things to include your fans. So I think that that's a good thing for them to be able to come out. Hopefully it'll be a nice day, because whenever it's a nice day, there's always a great turnout. So that
great
would be
buzz
good.
Around campus.
Yes, that would be great, especially for the first-year coach to kind of get a feel of what things will be like around here. But I think, again, spring practice itself is exciting when you got a new regime and somebody that people are excited about.
Yes, and I want to get your thoughts. You've heard Coach Fitzgerald now for a little bit. He's been in here now for a little bit longer now, and as you continue to hear things via press conferences and being there, just your overall thoughts now as he has really settled in and looking forward to practice and heading into the spring. The more you're hearing from him and from his staff, what's got you most excited about this team moving forward?
The thing that whenever someone asks me about him, what I always say is I feel like he is the closest thing to hiring one of us without hiring one. And I say that because I feel like he understands like one of us would understand about what this place is about, because that's what we always want, is someone to understand what this place is really about and what it means to us who have come through here. And I feel like he understands that. He gets that, and he embraces that, and I feel like that's a great start and a great place to build from. So I think he gets it. The other thing, and I don't want to, you know, put any kind of undue pressure on him, but the other thing that I say is I feel like he will be for football what Coach Izzo is to basketball for us. That's what I feel like he will be. I think he gets it. He understands what's going on.
He understands the area, no question about it.
He understands the Big Ten. He understands the conference. And, I mean, he did a lot with a little where he came from. And I feel like he has a chip on his shoulder. I feel like the time that he's been out, he's been, you know, just kind of seeing things.
The
for what
bigger landscape.
Exactly.
Yep.
And as an athlete, you know, a lot of times you hear guys say that when they were injured and sitting on the sideline, they were able to see things more clear. and I kind of equate that to kind of what he has done. So I'm expecting big things. I can't say that things will happen immediately.
No.
But I'm a process guy, so I'm trusting in the process, and I'm trusting in what he's doing and what he's getting guys to believe as far as believing in themselves and what they will do.
Yeah. And the competitiveness will be off the chart. There's no question about that with him and his staff.
No, and what you said is key, because I've always felt like here we just always want to compete, and that's huge to us is competing and showing toughness and being who we are and not getting run over and being respected is a huge thing.
Well, so Jack brings that up all the time. They don't want to be humiliated over and over again.
Not at all.
There has to be a respect value.
You want to be able to watch a game and feel proud in watching that game.
Win or lose.
That's what you want.
Yeah. Well, I got to say, it's been really cool to see Coach Fitzgerald at all the different places. I know Jack has mentioned that, but he will most certainly, I agree with you 100%, there most certainly will be a chip on his shoulder, which will probably bleed over to the team, right? Because the head coach is a reflection of the team, correct?
No, I agree. And we joked earlier about me playing. I had a slight conversation with him probably for a couple of minutes. And if he had asked me to try one play, just because of his aura and the way that he is, I would have tried it. I really would have tried it. I feel like that's the kind of effect he will have on the young men that he recruits and brings in here. He put I feel like a great staff together, of people that he trusts, and I feel like he took his time with doing that. He didn't, try to hurry and please everybody in what he was trying to do. So I like what he's doing, and I'm here for it. I'm on board for it.
Excellent. I know a lot of people are.
No, people are excited around here. I don't think football can get here fast enough. I really don't.
Well, he's most certainly brought himself into the family aspect of Michigan State, and I've been here for over 22 years now, and I've been lucky enough to be a part of covering Michigan State sports and athletics one way or another since 2004. And, you hear it all the time, and Jack brings it up on the show all the time, the family aspect of things at Michigan State. But from someone myself that's just an outsider looking in, doesn't most certainly have the access as some, but when you see basketball players at the hockey game last night, and you see football players at a baseball game, or you see, volleyball players at a gymnastics meet, or basketball players at a gymnastics meet. That just brings it all full circle. What people are talking about, and most certainly Pat Fitzgerald has fit that mold, so to speak, so far. I mean, he's been everywhere.
No, and the family thing is not a cliche around here.
No.
That's a real thing. And you see all of the different athletes in different places. And I think about, you have the academic center, the Smith Center, where they all go to get their tutoring and see their advisors and everything. So they all know each other. So it's kind of and then you throw in social media. There are all kind of different things now where they can be connected and to keep up with different things and to support each other, which I think is great.
Yes. All right. Before we go, I got to see what's on your radar. A lot of big events happening at for Michigan State athletics this weekend. Of course, the hockey game tonight as Michigan State looks to sweep Notre Dame and keep hopes of a number 1 seed for the Big Ten regular season championship and the tournament, number 1 seed in the Big Ten tournament. But we got basketball games for both the men taking on Ohio State and the women with a big matchup at Minnesota. Can't forget about the baseball team off to a great start, Jay, as they are down in Texas. They'll take on second-ranked or third-ranked, depending on which poll you look at. They're taking on a top 3 Texas team. Some other things going on as far as Michigan State athletics as well. I don't have enough time to name it all, but what's on your radar this weekend as far as not only Michigan State sports, number 1, but just sports in general as we get closer and closer to March?
Well, pretty much for me, sports Rob is Michigan State
Yes.
sports.
Yes.
So if it's not Michigan State sports, I'm really not really tuned in that much. I will be honestly tuned in to the basketball game tomorrow night between Duke and the other school because I think it'll be a great game, and
Yes.
I am a fan of sports.
Yes.
So I will be tuned in to
Okay.
that. But as far as like definitely the hockey game tonight, then the women's and the men's basketball games this weekend, I'm definitely tuned into. And I just feel like it's a great time to be a Spartan in one of us. I feel like the tide is changing. There's a lot of things being put in place to make sure that we are successful, and I like the way that we headed.
Well, I mean, when you look at these other, I hate to use the term, but they do, the Olympic sports, right? I mean, hockey's doing great things. We've covered that, right? But when you look at the golf programs, both men's and women's golf programs, right? Big things always, exciting things always happening there. The volleyball team with their new head coach doing some great things. The gymnastics, I mean, just a couple of years ago before Mike Rowe took over, they didn't know they were going to have a gymnastics program, but what they've been able to build. And obviously with Coach Izzo and Robin Freilich, you mentioned the women's basketball, and what she's been able to do in a short time. And I'm sure, and Coach Boss with big wins to open up the season against Louisville. The softball team with 2 big wins. I mean, they're 6-1, I believe, with 2 wins against ranked teams. So, I mean, as we head into the spring, I mean, it's exciting times to be the Spartan. I know I might be wearing one of those Jay Green glasses, but it's true.
No, Rob, those are one of one. Those are one of one. But I do want to give a shout out to Alan Haller, who was the former AD, because he hired a lot of those Olympic sport coaches, and I feel like he did a great job. And I know he did the softball coach. I know he did the women's basketball coach, the hockey coach, and I think there's a couple more that he hired. So I want to give credit to him for doing that, and also for our current AD for taking over and enhancing what Alan did. So.
Yeah, big things happening for Michigan State as we move into the future. All right, my friend, we're going to cut it off a little early here. Okay. If you're good with that. I know you got to be places.
I like hanging around with you,
Oh,
Rob.
my
I like
goodness.
hanging around with you.
I like you having in the studio. You make it much easier than other guy that was hosting a little while ago. Tell you that.
Well, he's the boss, so that's a little tougher than hanging with me. You have to watch it with him.
Yeah, you do got to watch it with Jack sometimes. That is very true, very true. Well, I appreciate you coming by, as always, every Friday. Love having you with Jack, and obviously taking time with me here to end the show. Appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. What do you got going on this weekend? Tell everybody where you're going to be at. Grandpa duty or
no grandpa duty. I'm riding solo and tuned in to the women's basketball game.
Beautiful.
The men's basketball game. Probably won't watch the hockey game tonight. But those other 2 games I will definitely be tuned in to and rooting us on.
All right. Appreciate your time, Jay. Have a great weekend, and we'll be in touch, my friend. Thank you, man.
Thank you, Rob.
You got it. Thank you. And thank everybody for tuning in today on the Friday edition of The Drive with Jack. Thanks to all our guests as well, and I hope you guys have a great weekend. This is Boston Rob saying be kind to one another, and we'll talk to you on Friday. Make sure to check out Press Pass Sunday night. Until then, everybody, have a great night. This is Boston Rob signing off.